in the butterfly position. So laying on your back with your heart facing up towards the ceiling and your knees out to the side, bringing your left hand onto your heart and your right hand onto your belly, softening your eyes, taking some nice deep breaths. As you breathe in, feeling the rise of your chest and your belly. And as you exhale, feel them fall back down again. So tuning into your breath and the rise and the fall. Noticing the earth underneath your feet, your buttocks, your upper back, and behind your head. Just taking some nice deep breaths in and out and feeling the rise and fall of your breath. Tuning into the breath. Leaving behind the busyness of your morning. Continuing on, just breathing in and out, feeling that rise and fall. Gently coming up to a seated position. So our yoga today is going to be a heart opening yoga, and it's going to be a slow practice, a yin practice. So we do a lot of movement around during the day when we're very busy, especially this time of year, and that's a very yang movement. Yin is where you move into more meditative qualities and a lot more of stillness in the poses. So we're going to hold our poses a little longer today. So it'll be a much slower practice. And a lot of our poses will be where we're opening up through our heart area, which is always a really nice thing to do. So let's begin with an Om. I'm going to take a deep breath in and then exhale all that doesn't serve you. And then taking another deep breath in, bring our hands to Anjali Mudra, and then exhale as we Om. And then coming into a tabletop position on your mats. Opening up your hands so they're nice and open through the fingers, pushing your palms down into the mat. And as we inhale, we're going to bring our chest up and our gaze up, opening up through the chest and the heart. And then we're going to exhale, coming up into cat and cow. Getting some nice movement into our spine, opening up through the chest. Letting the breath initiate the movement. Going for a couple more rounds. As you inhale, lifting your chest, and as you exhale, lift your spine up towards the ceiling and taking your gaze through your knees towards your feet, getting a nice stretch through the back of the neck. And then coming into a comfortable seated position. You might be sitting on your knees, or you could be standing on your knees or on your bottom with your legs crossed, whatever works for you. And we'll just move our shoulders, just opening up, taking some big deep breaths as we roll our shoulders back and opening up through the chest. And then taking it back the other way. And then bringing our hands back to our knees, and we're going to take our head from side to side, taking any tension you may have that you're holding in your neck, connecting with your breath, and bringing your head back to center, and then chin to chest, stretching the back of the neck, and inhale, take your chin up towards the ceiling, just moving backwards and forwards with your breath. One more round of each, and then coming back to center and placing your left hand on the mat and bring your right hand over the top, stretching out through the side of your body, and then to the other side. Let's go from side to side, warming up our body. Connecting with our breath. Checking into our bodies, scanning, and then taking your knees wide and walking your hands down to the mat into child's pose. And bringing your forehead down towards the mat, feeling a nice stretch through the insides of the legs, and walking your hands a little forward, feeling a nice stretch through the upper back and shoulders. On each exhalation, allow your body to release a little more into the pose, releasing any tension you might have in your lower back, allowing your forehead to rest on the mat, connecting back into your breath. Thinking about your intention for your practice today, and it may be about opening up your heart and just slowing down a little in this busy time as we head up to the end of the year and Christmas. Taking another 3 or 4 breaths. And then coming back up into tabletop position. And from here, we're going to move our spine, opening up through the chest as we take our body into an upward dog. And as we exhale, taking our body into a downward dog, taking our toes under and coming up into downward dog, opening up through the fingers. And then back into upward dog. Exhaling back into downward dog. On the next upward dog, we're going to go in there and we're going to stay there for 5 or 6 breaths. opening up through the heart, lifting the chest, lifting your gaze, softening your eyes. Taking a couple more breaths. And then tucking your toes under and lifting up the hips into downward dog. Opening up through the fingers. You might like to walk your heels down towards the ground. I'm going to stay here for 5 or 6 breaths. Just tuning into your body, feeling the earth underneath your toes and underneath your hands. Letting your head fall down towards the mat, the crown of your head towards the mat. Bringing your head through your arms, stretching out the shoulders. And embracing that stretch through the arms and the legs. Taking 3 more breaths here. And then coming back into seated position. Just giving our shoulders a little bit of a roll through again. And then we're going to come into thread the needle. So onto your hands and knees, opening up through the hands. We're going to inhale and lift our right hand up towards the ceiling. Take our eye with it, taking our gaze, and exhale, thread it underneath the left arm and hover. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale all the way down and hover. And then on the next one, we're going to go all the way up and we're going to bring our shoulder and our ear down to the mat and walk our left hand forward. And we're going to stay here for about 6 breaths. So surrendering into the earth, a nice deep stretch through the right scapula. Softening in your eyes and embracing the deep stretch through the shoulder area. And then as you inhale, come back to all fours again. And we'll go to the other side. So this time, taking your left hand up and take it underneath the right. Inhale, come all the way up, taking your gaze with your hand to open up through the chest and the upper back. And then exhale, hover down. And then one more. And bring that left hand and shoulder down towards the mat. Take your right hand forward. Taking 6 deep breaths here. It's just surrendering into the pose. Connecting with the deep stretch through the shoulder blade on the left side. And then take one more deep breath and then inhale, come back up to all fours. And tucking your toes under, coming back up to downward dog, taking your feet wide, and then walking your hands towards your feet, coming into a forward bend. Let your head fall heavy and let your chest fall heavy. Having your feet nice and wide, so you might want to toe heel, walk them out a little more. And we're going to stay here for 6 breaths. So just let everything fall heavy towards the earth. Let gravity stretch out through the lower back and through the back of your legs. Connecting back to the breath.
welcoming the stretch through the legs and the lower back. Coming back to your intention for the practice, the opening of the heart, and slowing the busyness in our lives. Coming more into the meditative qualities, very calming on the mind. Taking a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to press a little on our hands and toe heel our feet a little closer together. And then we're going to inhale, lift our arms, bend our knees a little, come all the way up. Nice. And back to Anjali Mudra. Okay, well done. So from here, we're going to do our warrior sequence. We're going to start with a warrior one. So we're going to turn our left foot out slightly and step forward with our right foot. We're going to inhale, lift our arms, raise our chest and bend our knees, lifting all the way up, looking up towards the ceiling, up towards our hands. We're going to take 6 breaths here. Stretching up towards the sky, really opening up through the heart and feeling a deep stretch through the left hip. Let's go 3 more breaths. And then we're going to straighten out our right leg and bring our hands down, take our body forward and take our chest down towards our right leg and clasp our hands together and lift them up. That's it, getting a nice stretch through the shoulder and stretching forward, feeling a nice deep stretch through the back of the right leg and through the glutes area. And as you lift your hands up, stretching through the shoulders. This is humble warrior. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then release your hands to the floor. Bring your right hand just on the inside of your right foot and take your left hand up and take your gaze with it. Bring that up towards the ceiling, opening through the front of the chest. So opening up through that heart area again. And we're going to stay here for 6 breaths. You can put a block underneath your right hand if you want. This is a triangle pose. So really nice stretch, deep stretch through the front of the chest, the back of the right leg, through the upper back. It's quite a strong pose on the right hand and the legs. And then exhale, bring that left hand down to the mat. Inhale, come all the way back up, back to Anjali Mudra. And then step back, give your legs a little shake. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So this time, stepping the right toes out slightly and then step forward with the left foot. You should have the left heel around about in line with your arch of the right foot. The hips and shoulders should be facing forward. We're going to inhale, lift our arms, bend the left knee, take our hands up to the ceiling, open our chest, take our gaze up to the ceiling. The left knee should be bent over the left ankle. Staying here for 6 breaths, bringing the hips and the shoulders facing forward, nice and square. Do you feel a nice deep stretch through the right hip flexor? These can get quite tight just from a lot of sitting or even a lot of walking. So just embracing the stretch, taking 3 more deep breaths. And on the next exhalation, bring your chest down, lengthening out through the left leg. Bring the chest down towards the left leg. Bring your arms up behind you, clasp them. Bring your gaze down towards the left big toe, lifting your hands up. Stretching, nice deep stretch through the back of the left leg and through the shoulders. Good. Taking 6 breaths here. Using your feet to balance you. On each exhalation, surrender into the pose a little more and lift up the hands a little more. This is Humble Warrior. And on the next exhalation, bring your hands down to the mat. Bring your left hand in front of the left foot. And if you like, you can put your block under there. And then inhale, bring the right hand up towards the ceiling and take your gaze with it. So you're opening up through the chest, deep stretch through the back of the left leg. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. And then releasing the right hand down to the mat. Inhale, lift up through the chest, using your legs to bring yourself up and come back to Anjali Mudra. And give it a nice shake. Okay, the next pose we're going to do is our peak pose, which is a dancer pose. We've done this a few times before. So we're going to start off on our right foot. So opening up the toes on the right foot, making sure you've got enough room in front of you. And if you want to reach out and hold on to something, have that something in front of you if you need it. So we're going to step onto the right foot and we're going to bend our left knee and bring our hand and our foot together on the left side. Then we're going to take our chest forward and take our right hand forward, lifting up through the foot, lifting up through the chest. And we're going to stay here for 6 breaths. So if you want to hold on to something, you can. Otherwise, just challenge your balance. Gazing towards that right hand. 3 more breaths here. Lifting up through the chest and the foot. And then gently bring it back to earth. Good work. Whoa. Are you all right, Deb? Whoa. Are you okay? All right. All right, give it a shake. Okay, let's go to the other side. So this time on the left foot. So bending the right knee and bring the hand up to the foot. Find your gaze point. And we're going to gently take our body forward, lifting the foot up and bringing our left hand in front of us. Taking 6 deep breaths here, lifting up through the chest, lifting up through the foot, getting a nice stretch through the right thigh. One more breath and then release. That's it. Give that a nice shake. Whoa, are you okay? Good. All right. Okay, next one. Let's see, what we might do next is a couple of rounds of our sun salute. So come to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift our arms, raise our gaze. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift through the chest, lifting our spine. And exhale, stepping back into a high plank. You can bring your knees down to the mat if you wish for a low plank. And then slowly lowering your body by bending your arms down to the mat. Inhale, lift up through the chest into an upward dog. And exhale, tuck your toes under and press up your hips into downward dog. Shift your body forward and gaze towards your hands. And then step forward into forward fold. Inhale, lift up through the chest. And then exhale, draw your chest into your legs. And then inhale, come all the way back up to standing.
And hands into Anjali Mudra. Nice. So feel free to rest if you wish. Let's go one more round here. So coming to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift up. Reach up to the ceiling and exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift up through the chest, stretching through the back of the spine. And then exhale, step back into high plank. Exhale as you slowly lower your body down to the mat. Inhale, lift up through the chest. And exhale, tucking your toes under, coming up into downward dog. Taking your gaze forward towards your hands and then step forward. Inhale, lift chest. And exhale, draw your chest into your legs. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And bring your hands back to Anjali Mudra. Okay, let's go to a wide forward bend next. Taking your feet really wide. We're going to inhale, lift our arms. And exhale, folding forward. Bring our hands down to the mat. Walking your feet out a little wider. And coming into this forward bend, allowing your elbows to bend a little. Have your crown of your head facing down towards the mat. Let your head fall heavy here. Embracing the deep stretch down the back of your legs. And a nice release through the lower back and the spine. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then from here, we're going to walk our hands forward and come down into our tabletop position. And then roll over onto our backs into bridge. So our knees bent, our gaze up towards the ceiling, and our hands next to us with our palms facing down. We're going to inhale, we're going to lift up through our hips and bring our hands over the top to the ground behind our head. And as we exhale, we're going to slowly lower our spine down to the mat and swim our arms out to the side. So we're going to go 5 more rounds. Imagine you're swimming through the water, lifting up and opening out through the chest and the shoulders, slowly lowering your spine back to the mat. You may need to bring your heels a little closer. As you lift up, go as high as you can. Bring your chest up towards your chin. Bring your hands to the ground behind your head. And as you exhale, slowly lower your spine down like a spike chain, vertebrae by vertebrae. Let's go 3 more rounds at your own pace, letting your breath initiate the movement. Lifting up as high as you can through the hips, stretching through the front of the legs, through the quads. Let's go 2 more rounds. And then hugging your knees up towards your chest, doing a couple of circles in a clockwise direction, and then a couple of circles back the other way, releasing any tension you may have in your lower back.
Bringing your feet down to the mat, legs bent, taking your arms out like a cactus. So elbows out to the side, hands in line with your ears. Allow your knees to drop out to the side and the soles of your feet come together. Taking 6 breaths here. Tuning back into the meditative yin qualities and come back to your intention around heart opening and slowing down what we do. Noticing a deep stretch through the groin area, and our heart is open and facing up towards the sky. 3 more deep breaths. And then bringing our knees together and our feet on the mat. We're going to take our knees towards the left side and take our gaze towards our right elbow. Still in the cactus position. Noticing a deep stretch through the right side of the body. On each exhalation, allow your knees to fall a little bit more to the left. Keeping the back of your shoulders on the ground. Noticing a stretch through the front of the chest. Inhale to the center. And then exhale, take your knees to the right, looking to the left. Taking some deep breaths here. Noticing a stretch through the left side of the body and letting your knees fall towards the right. Surrendering a little more into the pose on each exhale. And then bring the knees back to center. And we're going to come back into tabletop. And then from here, we're going to come up to standing on our knees. And we're going to go into a half camel. So we're going to take our right hand down towards our right heel. Left hand can be on our belly. Just noticing that opening up through the chest and deep stretch through the shoulder and through the front of the legs. Taking 3 more breaths here. And then inhale, come back to standing on our knees. And exhale, we're going to take our left hand down to our left ankle and our right hand to our belly. Looking up towards the ceiling, stretching out through that shoulder on the left side and through the front of the legs. 3 more breaths. And then come back up to standing. And then we're going to go into a half camel. We can have our hands on our lower back and open up this way. You can stay in this position, or you can take your hands down to your ankles if you can reach. You may not be able to. It's a bit tricky, or onto the back of your legs. So it's a real good heart opening position, this one. Let's take 1 more breath and then release. Okay, and coming back down to the ground, laying on our tummy. And we're going to take our hands out in front of us, just stretching the legs and stretching the hands out in front. And then we're going to reach back with our left hand, bending our left knee, reach back to our left ankle. And we're going to inhale, lift up through the chest, pressing down with your right hand. Just opening up through the chest, lifting the foot, lifting the knee off the ground, really stretching through the front of the thigh. And then releasing that side, bringing the right hand down to the mat,
And then lift up, bending the right knee, and sweep the right hand back to the right foot. Inhale, lift up through the chest, pressing down through the left hand, pulling the foot away from the buttocks, feeling a deep stretch through the quads on the right side. Taking a couple more breaths here. And then keeping your hand on the right foot, bending the left knee and taking the left hand back. So you've now got both knees, both feet. Okay, so once you've got both feet in your hands, inhale, lift up through the chest and take the feet away from the body. So you're getting a stretch through the front of the body, the thighs and the shoulders, and opening up through the chest. It's taking 3 breaths here. And then release the hands and bring the feet back down to the mat and pressing up through the hands, coming into child's pose. And we're going to rinse out our back. So taking our knees wide, bring our buttocks down to our heels, chest up nice and tall, and then walking the hands forward. And resting into child's pose. Let's take 6 breaths here. Allow your forehead to come down towards the mat. Walking your hands forward. Each exhalation surrendering a little more into the pose. Nice big deep stretch on the shoulders and the lower back. Three more breaths here. And then walking your hands back towards your shoulders and lifting up. We're going to roll onto our back and take our legs up in the air. Coming towards the end of the practice, you might like to go into a supported shoulder stand or place a block or a bolster underneath your lower back and lifting your legs up into the air. Nice and light with your legs, feeling your back supported by the earth, taking some nice gentle circles with your ankles in one direction and the other. Just tuning back into your breath. You might like to take your legs out wide. And then bringing the soles of your feet together, knees out wide. And taking your feet up towards the sky. If you're in shoulder stand, you might like to take your feet over your head into plow pose. Otherwise, just keep your legs up in the air. And then slowly lowering your body back down to the mat, coming into Savasana. Relaxing your legs down to the mat. You might like to support your knees with a bolster to support your lower back. Having your palms facing up. Taking a few deep breaths and just surrendering into the floor, letting the earth support you. We'll do a short meditation on our heart, and then you can relax into Savasana. Bringing your attention to your breathing. Focus and visualize the air coming in and out of your lungs. Slowly expand your breath so that each time you take in a little more. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you do this, feel your body relax. Feel your limbs grow heavy and grounded as you breathe. Visualize the ground and notice a bright ball of green energy at the very base of your spine. Emerald green. This ball is the most beautiful jewel that you have ever seen. Like a child, you reach out your hand and wrap your fingers around the green ball. As slowly as you possibly can, begin dragging the ball up along your spine towards your heart. This jewel is for your heart. As you rise up along the spine, repeat to yourself this affirmation. I do not take this jewel out of jealousy, for I am generous. I do not take this jewel for myself, because I am loved. I take this jewel for my family and friends, because it will delight them as it delights me. I am loved, and this jewel proves it. When the jewel has reached your heart, bring your focus back to your breath. With each breath, see the jewel grow a little bigger. With each exhalation, watch it become a little brighter. You are growing this jewel so that everyone in your life can have a little. Your friends, your family, everyone. Breathe in, breathe out. Watch the jewel expand. Resting into Savasana now for the next 5 minutes in silence. Beginning to come back into the room now, tuning back into your breath, feeling the earth beneath you, stretching out your arms and your legs. And gently rolling to one side. Taking a few breaths there. And when you're ready, coming to a comfortable seated position. Thank you for being here today, for sharing your beautiful yoga practice, our heart opening practice, and try to remember to take with you the yin, slowness, moving through the day, just a little slower, just taking your time and keeping your heart open, checking in with your body and how it feels at the moment, and checking in with your mind. Try to take this peacefulness with you for the rest of your day. Let's take a deep breath in and then breathe out all that doesn't serve us. Another deep breath in, and we'll share an Om to close our practice. Om. Bring our hands to our forehead for kind thoughts, and to our lips for kind words, and to our heart for a kind heart. Namaste. How did you go?
My knees are so sore because of we did this so many steps yesterday.
Wow.
But that's okay.